We started by unscrewing the 410 bolt that holds the tank. Then after that, we carefully removed the fuel hose and unscrewed the 410 bolt that holds the complete starter. After that, we unscrewed the 210 bolt that holds the coolant and removed the contact coil carefully, and unscrew the 2 nut and 2 bolt that holds the top. Don't forget to turn on your notification button so that when we drop new videos like this, you will be the first to receive the notification. Then we unscrew the 2 bolt that holds the exhaust and one bolt that holds the exhaust hanger, and checked if the exhaust gasket is still intact. And after that, we carefully pushed out the block engine and removed the gasket, and also removed the gudgeon pin clip. There are 2 gudgeon pin clip there, which we are removing now. Then we used a punch and pushed out the gudgeon pin and separated the piston from the con rod and block. We also checked the strength of the previous piston and rings and noticed that the piston is still okay, but the rings and gudgeon pin is not okay anymore and needed to be changed because the gen's current, compression and strength was weak, so there was a call for service. We checked the strength of the crankshaft and lubricated the basket bearing. At this stage, carefulness is required. To lose the gen is very simple, but to couple it is not. It's going to waste a little time. This is the new rings and new gudgeon pin. Then use the sharp object to remove every carbon that was on the piston. We made sure every carbon was removed, and after that, we used a sandpaper, a smooth sandpaper, and brushed it. We made sure the piston is very clean and smooth to prevent overheat. I also used a saw blade to carefully clean the 2 settings of the rings for smooth running. What we have here is the new rings I'm going to use. The rings comes in black and white. The black one is going to stay down and the white one is going to stay above. At this point, I'm going to pull back the gudgeon pin clip, the first gudgeon pin clip. I expanded it before putting it back so that it will not fall into the engine during vibration. I am going to carefully put back the rings so that it will not break. There are 2 provided pins on the piston where the rings will sit. And at this stage, I'm going to remove all the carbon on the block that blocked the entrance and the exit of air on the block that prevented the gen not to be functioning well. This is the reason the gen failed compression. The light was low and the strength of the gen was not efficient. There are 4 holes on this top block. The first hole is the exhaust, the exit of fire. Then the other 3 holes is the inlet of fuel and air into the top. We're going to clean all the holes so that it will be free. After washing the block engine, I used a smooth sandpaper, and cleaned the block sleeve. I also cleaned the block with a clean cloth and placed the block on the gen to insert the piston. I also lubricated the piston with engine oil to prevent overheat so that it will be easy for me to insert the piston back to the block. Now the arrow on the piston is going to face the exhaust side. The arrow on the piston is going to face the exhaust side. Then we set the rinse very well so that we will not miss the timing on the rinse. Then we start it. After the piston is seated back on the block and also on the crankshaft, I'm going to push back the gudgeon pin and use gudgeon pin grip and hold it. Then put back the top gasket. I also cleaned every carbon on the top and used iron brush to clean the plug from there, because that is where combustion takes place. That is where heat takes place. And inserted it back to its place. I tightened it very strong using the 4 bolts, the 2 nut and 2 bolts located on the top. After I tightened the top very strong, I mounted back the coolant, the rubber coolant. This is the thing that cools the engine whenever it is on. Then after that, I checked the compression. What I'm holding now is the contact coil. This is the contact coil. Then after that, I used a rag and cleaned the complete starter and used the 4 bolt to screw it back. And I'm going to start the gen before putting the exhaust so that all the carbon that is left over will be pushed out with force. Then we checked if the exhaust gasket was intact, and it was. Then I mounted it back and tightened it a little with the 2 bolts on it so that I will be able to put the exhaust hanger bolt. Then after that, we went back and tightened the exhaust bolt very strong now, and also tightened the exhaust hanger bolt and turned it on again for the second time. Finally, we mounted back the fuel tank, and that was all. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe so that when we drop new videos like this, you will be the first to get it.